This is a magic mushroom.
Shoes on in the crib.
They've been on, brain.
What I was gonna say.
What was
First off.
What was you gonna
First
say?
off. This is
Episode 2.
episode 2.
Attempt 3.
We've attempted it multiple times. First off,
That's fantastic.
I'm Ashton Massey.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
My name's Carter Smith.
We decided to film podcasts.
We're going to give it our best shot. And it's going to pay for my physical therapy school.
He wants to be a physical therapist, and it costs $400,000 to do that. And we don't have $400,000.
So, subscribe to our Patreon.
We're going to set up a Patreon, and you can pay for his school.
And you can pay for him to change the food system.
Yeah, and I'm going to change the food system.
So, do you guys want to have your backs fixed and your food better, or do you want to not pay us to do this podcast?
You can't tell me that those aren't too big-ish.
Those are huge issues.
I mean, come
They
on.
might even coincide with each other.
Well,
You fix the food problem, you fix the inflammation problem.
right. You make everyone's backs better, they could grow better food. I don't know.
Something
I don't know
like
if it
that.
works like that. Anyways, two good big issues, and
We need your support.
so
I like that.
what I was talking. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So what I was gonna say,
What was you
and
pondering?
then I
on?
decided to save it for the podcast.
Okay.
Is I heard a idea. Now I better remember. Oh yeah, I heard two ideas that are pretty cool from Andrew Huberman podcast, and it's surprising because they're not like science facts or anything like that. They're just cool ideas. And the first one was that, and you'll get what I mean, but just kind of follow it. The people that are on Instagram post on Instagram and then don't live on Instagram. And then the people that look at Instagram just look at Instagram and don't post anything on Instagram. Right?
Huberman said that?
Yeah. I know. I was like, that's bar.
I'm in the second
So you-
category, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I'm going to film a podcast today regardless. And then he said something else which coincides with that, which was another bar. And he was like, in today's age, you have two choices. You can be one or two people. The first one is a consumer, and the second one is a producer. And every morning I wake up and start looking at my phone and wondering if I should just call them to talk about them. I would be choosing to be a consumer. But if I say I'm going to look at my journal and start writing in my journal, I'd be a producer. And I've been thinking about that. And what I'm thinking about that is I don't want to just be a consumer forever because I've been doing that for a while. So, an hour podcast,
Is
right.
producing something.
75 posts through 75 hard. It's producing something, still not outweighing the amount that I consume. But he does have a good point because I'm sure that the people that are having the 6-8 posts a day on all the platforms, that takes up all their time that they're looking at their phone. You know what I mean? They're too busy to just be scrolling. So their posts, making 6 or 8 posts on each social media platform, takes up so much time that throughout their day they don't just have an extra hour to go scroll. You get my point?
Yeah.
So that's what we got to do. At least that's what I'm going to do.
Fair
Because
enough.
so I think that's what we got to do.
We gotta produce.
Really? That's what we got to do.
And we need a producer.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to work for us for free, that'd be sick.
Right.
But I know
Right.
what you mean.
Yes.
Also, I'm sick. And it might sound like I'm sick. Well, too bad. Because we're doing a pod. And you don't have to listen. Thought I'd get that out there.
Okay, good job. All right. The other idea that I was thinking about,
Okay.
and feel free to share your feedback, is, what was I thinking? Oh, yeah. So I've been thinking about personal brands, right? Like building personal brand. And you don't even have to have a top, like a specific, not even specific, a realm that you're
A niche.
a niche or niches that your brand is branded to, right? And if you want to make any money off of it, you either gotta sell your own stuff or sell someone else's stuff, right?
Yeah.
Services, product, whatever. But why? So why doesn't everyone just have a personal brand then?
Because it takes effort.
What about it though? It takes effort.
Developing yourself to...
Right.
Have a brand.
That's what I was going to get to. So, because it could, like, if Kim Kardashian started selling candles, she'd sell millions of dollars worth of candles because it's Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't know. She doesn't. I don't think she sells candles, but it's not like she's a person in that niche, right? She's just famous.
Yeah.
So, take that example. She's someone worth. Where am I going with this? She built enough value to where it doesn't matter what niche you put her in, she's worth having. She's worth value. She's worth currency, right? To be a affiliate for that brand. So what could you do to increase your value to get to the point where you're able to be an affiliate or have your own product? What makes you valuable? How do you build value? Right? You get my question. That was a bad way of asking that question, but you get the question.
Well, one, you have to be somebody people actually care to watch or listen to.
So you have to be entertaining
Entertaining and interesting.
and interesting. Okay.
And two,
Two different things.
yeah.
Because there's some people that got a lot of information that's super interesting, but they're just boring.
Human.
Right.
Then you got Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. They're
It's-
just entertaining.
Those are two good extremes.
So,
Okay. Well, what else?
then, you also have to be somebody whose value is proven.
How do you prove
i.e.,
your value?
for, let's just say, a company is going to pay you to put an ad on our podcast. They're not going to do it if we released 75 podcasts in a row and then we didn't release a podcast for 6 months. Then we released one podcast. Then we didn't release a podcast for a month.
So consistency.
Consistency.
So you got
You have to prove to them
entertaining,
that you're going to continue to be able
interesting,
to. Consistent.
consistent. Okay.
Those are 3 pretty good.
Those are pretty solid ones.
And then, let's see.
Entertaining, consistent. Likable, entertaining, because you could watch someone's stuff and you're entertained, but you don't like them.
Likeable develops fan base. People like Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast because they're likable guys.
Right. You could like Huberman's just because of the information, not because anything to do with him.
Yeah. But
Okay.
if people like you
So likability is
as a
in there.
person, that helps.
Right. Those are good. That's good. And then probably one other would it be like reach, like how many different topics you could talk about and maintain those.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
So-
reach.
But I mean,
Yeah.
reach isn't the right word, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The scope of how many things you. Right.
Scope of content
Okay.
that you can
Because
produce.
obviously, the bigger scope of content, with the right amount of quality, you'd be able to reach more people.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break them down. What would you do to develop a more entertaining podcast?
More entertaining than life.
Okay, what does that mean to you? What's entertaining to you?
Let's think here.
Because whatever you find entertaining, that's what you would be able to produce most authentically.
What was entertaining to me? People building cars.
Right.
Music.
Okay. It's like history, facts.
History.
Right.
Knowledge of the body and its functions.
Okay, so how would you be able to implement that into making yourself more interesting?
Well,
If you had more knowledge on those things?
yes,
Okay.
if I was doing those things.
What does it mean? So building a car? You want to build a car?
If I was building a car while I was going to school to become a physical therapist and taking history.
That's pretty interesting. I would be interested in that guy too. So that covers two.
What if, let's just separate the physical therapy for now, but I was building a car that has a deep history. And then I can talk about the history of that car, how it came to be, why it is, while I'm building it. And then I'll throw in a little treat on the side like, hey, do a reverse pigeon stretch. Release your tension in your piriformis muscle.
What even is a reverse pigeon stretch? Explain it.
Well, this is seated pigeon. And you take your leg, push down and lean forward.
Okay.
So reverse pigeon is laying on your back, grabbing this leg, using your elbow to push this knee out, and then bringing it in.
Damn, I want to do that.
Try it out.
Okay, so what you're saying is you just need to do what you want to do anyways.
Yeah.
Because I would assume that interesting and entertaining do go hand in hand.
I think entertaining
You have to be interested in it.
Is the umbrella term. And interesting falls underneath.
Right, and then you like the person that you're... Okay, that actually makes sense. Okay, so... we gotta become more interesting. You gotta do things worth having interest in. What are you interested in? You said cars, this, that, doing these things. So what's something that you're going to do that would develop more interest? Right? If you were in school, either of those scenarios that you posed, if you're fixing an old car, which we just happen to have a 3-car garage with plenty of space to do so.
True.
So if you were doing that, and then you filmed it, and made content about it, that would increase, in my opinion, your level of interest.
Yes.
Okay? Also, going to school, learning physical therapy, and ever seen those videos and it's like, I've been a doctor for 25 years, this is what they won't tell you.
Yeah, most of the time it's
yeah. But so you could make content about your findings along as you go, right?
Yes.
And that would be interesting. All right.
But also, when I think of an interesting person, what comes to mind is spontaneity.
What does that word mean?
Spontaneousness.
Okay.
Like, one day, one of us just comes home, and it's like, well, I'm going skydiving tomorrow.
Right.
Sick.
Okay. Well, so one thing about that is that you could imagine on the scale of finance and age, the higher the age, the lower the spontaneity. The lower the age, the higher the spontaneity. The higher the money with the lower the age, the higher the spontaneity.
Yeah.
The lower the money, the older you get, probably the lower. Right?
Yeah.
So, and obviously you still could do spontaneous things, but like,
You're less likely to.
what are some cool spontaneous things that we could do with our current position?
We definitely
Like,
make enough money for us to be like, let's road trip to Colorado.
we don't or do?
We do.
Right?
We definitely make enough money to be like,
We make enough money to buy a plane ticket and go to climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
yeah.
So that's something spontaneous and cool.
Or like start a project of some sort that we actually have to build and invest into.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Like a cold plunge.
Oh, just like something like for us.
Yeah. Like we could definitely, if we wanted, each spend $750 and document the process of us building a cold plunge together.
Which I doubt it'd be 750, but I'm with you.
$750 each. So 50.
That's what I'm saying. I bet it would be way cheaper than that. We built it.
Yeah. I mean,
Unless you wanted to be dialed.
I was gonna say I want a nice one with circulating water, but
Okay, to get what you're saying.
then I could teach you a little bit about some tools action.
Yeah, this guy knows about tools.
I do know how to build things.
Okay, so spontaneity. That's a good one.
And
One thing I think about when I think about interesting people is someone that has done something difficult or hard. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like, if in. Just saying. If I ran a 50-miler by the end of the year, would that not be something that would be interesting?
it would definitely be interesting.
Right?
Yeah,
And
but
you-
the interesting part is figuring out for the listener and explaining on your behalf why you did it, not just the fact you did it.
Okay. All right. That's a good point. Okay, so we got building, spontaneity, becoming an interesting person. I think that. Well, one idea to think about, and this is, we went and seen Jordan Peterson live. Seen him twice. We went once. Banging. Definitely go see him.
JP?
Suits are better in person. But one thing he was talking about is something that is good for you deeply is good for the rest of the world deeply, because it can't be something that's actually good for you and bad for the rest of the world. So with that idea, that frame in mind, you're trying to come up with a way to disprove that?
Well, I just wanted to think about it for a
All right.
second.
Okay, sorry.
Let a fellow think,
Well, let's think.
because that's quite the statement.
That's what
Something
it
that could
says.
be actually good for you must be good for the rest of the world.
Right. Something that is worthwhile doing for yourself would be worthwhile doing for the rest of the world. Fixing your back problem? Well, I guess it could be
I was gonna
worthwhile.
say, that
You
would-
get the idea, though.
Yes.
Okay.
I get the
So,
idea.
something. This is what I just thought about.
Okay.
If you create the person you desire,
Of yourself.
yeah, if you create the best version of yourself in your mind's eye, as a result, working on that same framework, as a result, many people would admire you. So, what we'd get to is, what are you doing that's not, what are we doing, it's not just you doing it too, what are we doing that is not moving us forward to that person? What are we doing that we know, what are things that we know we could do, we would do, that we should do, that we're not doing? What are things that we know that are wrong that we're doing? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, there's no reason I'm not waking up at 5 in the morning. There's just really no, what's name a reason? There's not. Just because I don't want to. So that's something that I'm going to start doing. Right?
Yep.
Also, a little Huberman fact for you. Listen to him this morning. He was saying that it takes 3 days to reset your circadian rhythm.
Okay.
And the best ways to do so are sun exposure, light exposure in the morning, 4 p.m. to, this is if you're waking up early, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., low light exposure. Wait, was it 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., low light exposure.
12 hours.
Caffeine in the morning, he said, was good, and some sort of physical activity. And the reason behind this is your circadian clock has a direct connection to your musculature. So when you start activating it, it turns on your circadian clock.
Now, is your circadian clock...
Is it
an actual system in your body,
Yes.
or is it just the name for your body
No, it is.
adapting
It
to
is an
something?
actual system. I don't know the actual biologics behind it, but it is a system. And do you know what's weird about it? Trying
What's
to look
weird
it up.
about it? Yeah.
It runs off of a 24.2 hour cycle, so it's not actually 24 hours. It's a little
Well, a
bit
day
over.
is not actually 24 hours either.
Right. Well, that's what's weird about it. But like our clocks are in a 24 hour. Right.
But that's why we have a leap year, or a leap day.
Right, but that's my point, is saying that clocks are in 24 hours, right?
Yes.
And your body doesn't. Yeah. What are you finding?
Well, it's not like there's a specific part of your brain or body that has its own system that manages the circadian rhythm. This is what I assumed. It's rather just your whole body adapting to your reality, I guess.
Right. So,
But it's not like there's a specific part where it's like, this is your circadian clock.
but there definitely is parts that, yeah. Either way, what I was saying was that those are the things that you could do. Takes 3 days. Da, da, da. All right. Yeah. I don't know biology,
Okay.
but your circadian rhythm's real, and it's longer than 24 hours for some reason.
Okay.
Theory is that we're from Mars, and Mars is
Whose
day.
theory is that?
The theory out
Billy
there.
Carson?
I don't know if this is or not.
BC?
VC. I used to have my great grandma's husband, not my great grandpa, just her husband, right? His initials were BC. Billy Clark.
Billy Clark.
He was an odd feller.
Your great grandma's husband?
Yep.
Was that your mother's side?
No, he was just a.
It wasn't your mother's side?
Oh, my. I thought you meant the husband, but yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, old Billy Clark, BC.
It's cool.
He was an odd feller. Yep.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I don't know either of my great grandparents.
Really?
Well,
Why don't you do
actually,
a
I
little...
take that back.
Oh, so you did.
I did know one of them. She died when I was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad's father, his name was Wayne. And then my dad's name was Wayne the second. I was almost Wayne the third.
Were you your dad's first son?
No,
Why would you be Wayne the third?
because they had just almost named me Wayne.
That's crazy though. Usually it's the first son.
They named him Jerem.
Oh, that's the first son, Jerem.
Wayne's first son.
Still yet to meet that guy. Seems like a cool feller.
I know, I was thinking about buying some clothes from him. But, anyways, I know that my father's father, my great grandfather, was in World War II and died with shrapnel in his body.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
The war took him out.
Well, no, he didn't die at the war. He was close to either a tank shell that blew up or just something that blew up. Shrapnel went into his leg, but he lived. But when he died, they hadn't removed it all. Yeah,
Ah, so maybe it led to that?
maybe.
Dang. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, some hard men out there. I was talking to this dude. We knock doors for a living. We knock on doors and sell stuff. And I was talking to this guy. He talked to some cool people.
Yeah.
and some weird people and normal people. Most people are just normal, by the way, if you were wondering.
Most
in
people
Utah,
are.
at least. There's a few people that are absolutely crazy, and then a few people that are crazy in a good way. But I was talking to this guy. He's probably like, I was telling you about it. He's probably like 65, 60. And just a good old boy, right? And he was talking about how... He didn't say the quote. I said the quote, though, about how hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, weak men create
Hard times.
right. He was talking about that idea that I told him that quote, and he was like, "Yeah, that's smart." But
Yeah.
then he was saying, and so he was like, "Yeah, it's all going downhill." And I was like, "Well, then what's next?" And he's all, "Well, it's just
Hard
gonna get
times.
worse." And I was like, "But what? Like, what happens?" And he's all, "Well, I'll tell you this, and this is what I want to tell you. It's actually cool." He's like, "There's a town in Arizona that this is in the '60s. They built a dome around it and wanted to build, when they were doing like the space race, then they wanted to build a climate controlled habitat that they could put on different planets.
Okay.
So they built a dome around the city in Arizona and wanted to have everything they needed in the dome to sustain life. And what they figured out, this is interesting, you like this. What they figured out is that they'd plant the trees and they'd only grow to a certain height, and then they'd fall over and die. And they brought botanists out there, and they brought all these people out there, and they're like, "Well, we've got all the oxygen, we've got all the... everything's perfect.
CO2.
Everything's good. Like, why is...
Because plants release oxygen, so they need.
Okay, CO2. Well, they
Carbon
had all the things they need. And guess why the trees were falling over?
Why?
Because they didn't have strong roots, Carter.
Why didn't they have strong roots?
Because there is no wind. So where strong winds blow, strong roots grow.
I like the
can't-
quote, but I
You can't have...
can't believe that.
Why? Why don't you believe that?
Because I almost guarantee there's greenhouses now with trees planted in them, and they don't just fall over because there's no wind.
I have never seen one.
There's definitely quite a few.
With big trees in them?
There's a massive one in England that has like 3 different
Did they build it around them?
ecosystems. No. Because they did one that's like, this is like Amazon jungle type.
Dang, well thanks for just crushing
Well, I'm
it.
sorry.
Thanks for just crushing it.
I just can't believe that a tree is just not going to grow roots properly just because there isn't wind.
Alright. Well,
Well, whatever. Screw this whole thing.
there's that.
But
The idea
you
is
could
that-
argue, though, that trees in the wind will grow stronger roots than trees not.
Okay.
So I'll give you that for sure.
That passes the Carter test?
Yeah.
Because you just know it all?
I see less fallacies in that statement.
Okay. Well, with that statement that you approve of,
Here's
it
what I'm
implies that you got to have some resistance.
Right.
So what he was trying to tell me is that even though times are going to get real hard and things are going to be the way they are, what it will produce is some real strong people. And I like that because I was like, well, I would like to build a team of those people. You know what I mean? So I'll ask you this then.
Okay.
What could you see that we could do, or what could you see that you could do, what could you see that I could do that would build us some stronger roots?
Standing in the wind.
Right. So what do you think it is? Or something. It doesn't have to be the thing.
Well, let's just. I mean, obviously, I've been thinking about this 2-word statement for the past day or two, and I can't remember what it is. It is. The point of it essentially is just necessary, growthful challenges you bring upon yourself, i.e., running a marathon.
Okay.
Just doing the things you don't want to do.
Okay, so what are those things?
And the reason why I was thinking of it, though, is because when you were like, well, I'm just going to run 50. I'm just going to run 100 miles because it's hard and I don't want to do it. And then I was like, yeah, then I'm just going to pull off my fingernails because it's hard and I don't want to do it. The difference is the lack of necessary or reasonable growth that you'll
Right.
gain from that.
There's something to gain from running 100 miles.
Yeah.
One thing to gain from pulling out your fingernails is fucking look like a retard.
You'd definitely be mentally tougher. But we don't need to get into that.
You'd be pretty mentally
we
tough.
don't need to get into that. But
Okay, but it's necessary to develop in that direction if that's
Yes.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
All right. So what are those things? I mean,
going to school and working at the same time.
right. To develop someone interesting, gotta go do something worth being interested in.
Yeah.
Learning about physical therapy would be one of those things. In a world full of sick, unhealthy, broken people, being someone with some knowledge would be something of value, something that they'd be interested in,
Yes.
right? A beacon in the dark, Carter.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, one thing that I'm thinking about, what I like the idea of, is the movie Chicken Little,
Yeah.
right? And you know how
The sky is falling.
the sky's falling.
Yeah.
So right now we live in a time. Currently, everything's going crazy. If you
it
didn't realize.
is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024.
And there's just wars going on. The Jews are being Jewish. They're doing good. Well, they're being good at being Jews.
All right.
Well, that's just fact. That's a fact.
Has there been a time period where they were being bad at being Jews?
Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
Let's not get into that.
So, but everything's crazy. There's like 56 national elections going on this year, I'm pretty sure. Trump got shot, da-da-da-da-da. You know the story.
27
You-
presidential candidates in Mexico got assassinated.
Right. You look at your phone all day, so you probably see some of this stuff.
You might know.
And you probably shouldn't look at your phone all day. But I'm going to stop talking to you, and I'm just going to tell you something.
I want to take a real quick time out and blow my nose so I can breathe.
That's a good idea. So Carter's a sick little boy. And yeah, I was sick about a week ago. But let me tell you something. We're going to be doing good things. We're going to be doing good things. You see a lot of growth out of everyone. We got 4 able-bodied individuals living in one roof now. 2 weeks from now, we'll have another one, Paul Balch. We've got myself, Carter Smith, Liam Merrill, Aiden Baltram in the Shavy crib. And I'm just going to try and build them all strong and rich and make them people worthy of helping you. So there's that. Here's one of them right here. He's a good old boy. Where's he at?
Talent is the result of practice.
Right.
Bob Ross.
Okay. You want to hear one though?
Hit me with it.
Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see.
Wes Watson.
Wes Watson. So what were we talking about? We were talking about becoming a good person, great person.
You know what we
becoming a
should
great
do?
person. Tell me.
You know what we should do? Because you were talking about 4 strong, able-bodied young men,
Right.
right? I wasn't here for that, but I overheard.
Well, glad you did.
What do we have around us?
Mountains,
Closer.
houses,
What is in those houses?
people,
What do people around you make up?
families.
A community.
Okay.
So we have a community around us.
Right.
What are we doing to contribute to that community as of right now?
Not a thing.
Not a single thing. So what could we do to help our immediate community with 4 smart, strong, able-bodied young men?
Well, just a case study. There is a group of people that are in Austin, Texas, and they probably thought something similar, and they just happened to be interested in running, and they started a run club, and now it's got like hundreds of thousands of followers. And
Yeah, there's a run club in Orem.
okay, so that I'm just saying
So there's
that's
that.
something that someone's done. Oh, watch out! We got someone else rolling in. You don't know what to expect. We're filming podcasts, Lenny, bud. What are you up to?
Just chilling,
Nice.
hanging out.
You smell that aroma in the air, bro?
Stopping for a minute.
You guys got me sick.
Yeah, this boy's
Ah, tough
All right.
time never lasts, brother.
sick. Okay, hey you.
Introduce yourself real
Oh,
quick.
yeah,
Lenny.
let 'em
We
tell me
didn't
who you are.
introduce ourselves.
Lenny Bud.
What's your name?
My name's Liam Merrill. I am a 21-year-old electrician,
21-year-old male.
21-year-old heterosexual male.
Okay.
Where do you hail from?
I don't know. Oh, my bad, Vernal, Utah. The ancestors are from Norway.
There you go.
Okay.
Anyhow,
What are we gonna do to better contribute and serve to our immediate community? All right. Well, now you're just making that dirtier. What are you doing?
To our immediate
To
community, we're
around
talking about
neighbors,
the neighbors,
right.
you know.
Neighbors, neighborhood.
I don't know if you're social with all your neighbors. Like, if you talk to your neighbors, you kind of find out what their wants and needs are. So
Right.
True.
you see them
That's a
out.
good point.
You see them moving stuff out,
Help them out.
help them out,
Okay. So little things here and there.
break up the leaves. You know, neighbors right next to you.
Throw them over your fence on the neighbor's yard.
Exactly.
And let them pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a big old lot over there on the other side of some dude's house by the train tracks. It's just overgrown with weeds. What if we made it not?
Went and mowed it.
Knock those weeds down. When it snows in the winter,
We just community plow the.
we go get all the young
Sidewalks.
little hoodlums. We go to the neighbors and we'll
Oh,
say,
what if we bought? Sorry, cutting you off. What if we bought them shovels, stuff like that, and got them loaded out on the neighbors' driveways, and just let them have all the money?
That's what I was gonna say. We
Oh.
get them equipped. We teach them how to do it, and then probably just go run it with them, and then we get them paid. We don't take any money from it, but we just go to the neighbors and be like, "Hey, we're doing a thing for the kids. They'll shovel
Yeah.
your yard. It's gonna be $20, but it all goes to the kids. We don't take any of it, and then we just go through and do the whole neighborhood."
Ronnie's over there. Give me the fucking money.
I want it.
Nah.
He said
Not
that.
me, brother.
Okay, that's dope. That's a good idea.
So
Right. So okay. So. All right. We're on the topic of discussion of. So first off, just to give you a little preface, we're gonna do 75 podcasts.
In
And
75 days, or
we're thinking that. We haven't said that yet.
it's not official yet.
Well, either way, we're gonna do 75 podcasts. If you did 75 days, that'd be good. But
it'd be pretty good.
we're gonna build a following, and then we're gonna start a Patreon, and then they're gonna pay for Carter's school so he can go be a physical therapist.
Gangster.
Costs $400,000.
Gangster.
Roughly.
So roughly, maybe not, but that's the idea. But what do you have to do to get people to listen to you? You got to be interesting, you got to be likable, you got to be enthusiastic, you got to be all these things.
Yeah.
So how do we be that? And the way I pose to do that is you have to become the best version of yourself in your mind's eye, because the best version that the person that you need in your life, become that person, and then people around you will be interested in the way you got there.
Mm-hmm.
And then by us talking about that, you'd create interest and a following, and along the way you'd learn a bunch of cool things, you'd be doing a bunch of cool stuff.
Right.
You got any thoughts?
No, I think that's freaking great. I mean, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's good.
What are you starting up? A Patreon?
Right.
Yes,
But we got. But
I mean,
we gotta
we will
develop.
one day.
We gotta develop a.
Once we have a podcast.
We have to become interesting people, Lenny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What would someone find interesting about your life, Lenny? Tell us something.
I don't know how my
Look at the
mind-
camera, tell
how
them.
My mind be running.
How you
I
might
just
be
be saying
running
stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes none of it makes sense.
Well, that's not
Sometimes
very-
it does. No, and that's interesting, and I think people fucking listen to that kind of stuff.
So there you go.
Think of Theo Vaughn. He just says the most random stuff. He's good at it. He's really good with it. His comedy.
You got a good point.
His comedy is almost stupid, but it's super. People are very attracted to it.
But he also has
I'm
a
not.
background.
I'm not saying that I'm like Theo Vaughn in any way, but I'm just saying there's
People do other doing it.
people.
You
People
get a
out
lot
there
of
doing it.
crazy stories to tell, though.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the stories.
Yeah.
So, you got any of those? Let me hear something cool.
Hit us with a story.
I don't know, man. I'm drained right now.
I am too.
And I'm not trying to be lame with that, but I do got to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, going down to Beaver,
See, there you go.
sweeping 250
That's what-
chimneys, $180
Okay,
a
Lenny.
chimney, baby.
Lenny,
250 chimneys.
sit back down.
180
Sit back
bucks a
down for a
pop?
second.
Yeah.
Sit back down.
And
How
we're
much
gonna.
money?
That's
and we're-
interesting.
We're wiping that out in
How
2
much
days,
cash
buddy.
is that?
Sit back down, Lenny.
We're talking
See,
cash
that's
flow.
something.
45 grand.
We're talking
in
cash
2
flow.
days.
Okay,
Are
Lenny.
you for real?
So now you're
Yeah,
saying
that's what we
something
scored.
interesting.
We just scored a whole
How much
HOA.
is it paid? Are you getting a good check for your? Or is
Yeah,
it gonna,
they'll be paying me more than an electrician.
yeah.
All right,
So,
Lenny.
good
So
it'll be a
let,
good
break it
deal.
down for us again. Let the viewers know what you're talking about.
How do you
and then
clean a chimney?
How do you clean a chimney?
When you get back
Right.
from here, when you get back from that, you'll tell them how it went.
Right. So, never swept a chimney before, but what I hear and what I see is that you've got wire brushes, you got poly brushes, and wire brushes, depending on the material of your chimney.
Right.
But basically, you just throw it down and you scrub the inside of the chimney. So you have one person up top doing that, one person on the bottom with a shop vac cleaning everything up. Once the whole chimney scrubbed and quits falling, clean it all up. You wipe down the chimney, the furnace, whatever. Keep the inside looking clean. On the top, you run a tar seal around your chimney cover, which is like, I don't know how much he pays for that, but
Right. It's an extra little thing.
extra little thing. But yeah, we're just gonna move along and
Out there busting out chimneys.
yeah, bust
180
out
of them?
Yeah, I think 180.
I thought you said 250 chimneys. You said
No,
180.
180, 250 chimneys.
Oh, yeah, 250.
250. All right,
so
Lenny.
that's
So that was
an
interesting.
HOA.
That was good.
HOA.
How did he get
On a
this
ski resort,
contract?
actually. Because he knows that he's got the craziest contacts.
Really?
Oh, we need to
He
talk to
went
this
and-
guy.
he
Well,
went,
what I was thinking is, our problem when we tried to go to that HOA is they're like, we can't have solicitors. What if what we're trying to sell, we don't solicit it? We say, we'll come and do the attics of every home in the HOA if they're interested,
that would be a better way of doing
rather than us going and even having to knock the door.
Ah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because if you sell the one that's in charge of the HOA, then he's the one in charge of going, all your attics are going to get filled with insulation.
And then we just,
Because you have to abide by the HOA's rules.
and then check gets a fat check, and then we get fat checks.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's
Lenny,
not
that
bad
was
at all.
interesting.
That
There
was
you
good
go.
shit. It's
a good
that was
deal.
nice.
It's a good deal. That's what I got coming up
when
in the
you're-
next few days.
When you're back, well, tell us how it was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll
And
let you know.
Where's it at?
It is up Eagle Point down in Beaver, Utah.
Let's see what Eagle Point
Where's
is.
Beaver?
Dude, there's a ski resort up there. I didn't even
Oh,
know.
133 miles away.
Where's Beaver?
Eat a lot of
Look,
beaver.
decent little ski resort up there.
Mm-hmm.
Down
You're
south?
down, yeah, you're down by.
Ooh, way
Oh.
down south. How's there even a ski resort over there?
Exactly. I had no clue there was a ski resort.
That's where all the rich St. Georgians go, huh? Interesting.
So yeah, I think all of those,
Good work, Lenny.
all those.
Where will you be staying at while you're up there?
In one of them.
Nice.
For 3 days, 2 days?
Probably we're gonna try to do it in 2 days.
Just work constantly like you did the other time?
Yeah, just work like a, Russian racehorse. Just going, flowing through them chimneys.
I'd let
in
this
that
guy clean
motion.
my chimney.
Oh, he is a
In that
damn
motion.
chimney cleaner.
So you're gonna have some nice paychecks back to back.
Hopefully, yeah.
Good work. What do you want to buy?
Oh, nothing.
Oh.
I kind of want to save it all. I know it's not going to happen, but I'll probably end up buying a gun. It'll be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Pistol or a rifle?
A rifle.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
6.5?
7
Creedmoor?
PRC, baby.
Ah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to get me a sniper.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
For
hunting?
undisclosed reasons.
Oh. Let's just
No, I'm
say.
just kidding. I'd kill animals. Kill animals, folks.
Let's take a video of you saying you're gonna kill the president.
Thank you for your drop-in, Lenny.
Folks,
That was a good drop.
thank you for having me. I'm going to go do some stuff.
Go do some stuff, dude.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys.
Loves Lenny Bud. He's a dang springy cat.
He's
this
a dang
guy.
electrician. The
That's
dang
wild.
chimney sway.
250 chimneys.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking a lot of work, dude. Maybe it's not too bad. I don't know.
If you're at the bottom, getting dumped on,
Shop vac.
but imagine you're at
It's not like they're gonna drop them down to the chimney.
no,
on the
but all
road.
the stuff falling down,
Yeah, but you'll have a shop vac sucking.
kicking up the ash.
But here's what you do. Thinking like in the mind of a
Chimney sweeper.
chimney sweep. Plastic off the bottom of the chimney where it goes into the house. Cut small hole for shop vac. Plug it in the hole.
That's a good point. Yeah. There you go, folks. That's how you clean a chimney.
So,
That's good stuff. All right, Lenny's a dang trooper.
well,
I haven't worked hard with labor. How long have you been going?
long enough, I think.
All right,
Next
folks.
podcast, we're going to talk about love.
We
And what,
are?
and what
I
love's,
don't know that.
and what love's got to do with it.
What's love got to do?
What's love got
Also, this guy, you could pay for your damn tuition by singing. He's got the voice of an angel.
I might sing you guys a little song on the next podcast.
Fuck yeah. All right.
We're going to talk about love just because we were talking about it today. And I have some things I want to say about it. I'm going to sing you a song. I'm going to make you fall in love. I'm going to make you want to love. And you're going to want to love hard. Anyways, guys.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Tuning out.
We'll find a name for the pod soon.
Yeah, we don't have a name yet.
But we'll figure it out.
Hit him with a little mushroom ring.
It's just all none of that was